I was the girl who laughed at crypto bros in 2021. I thought they were delusional. Ponzi scheme, tulip mania, all of it. And you know what? I was right for about 3 years. But here's what I didn't see coming, and neither did you. Wall Street didn't kill crypto. They became crypto. And they named the whole operation after the one thing you'd never expect them to admit: the Genius Act. Yes, that's the actual name of the law, the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act. They literally called it Genius, and I'm about to show you why that's the most brazen financial scam of 2026. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why everything you think you know about crypto versus Wall Street is a lie. By the end, you'll understand the three-part system that the banks built to capture crypto without ever admitting they wanted it. And more importantly, you'll know exactly how to avoid becoming the exit liquidity for the biggest suits on the planet. Look, I'm not a crypto maxi. I'm not a banker. I'm just the girl who watched her husband lose $40,000 on a revolutionary DeFi protocol in 2022. That hurt. But you know what hurt more? Watching the same banks that called him an idiot quietly buy the exact same technology 3 years later, and watching everyone cheer. So I got angry, and I started digging. Here's what I found. Remember 2017? Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JPMorgan, called Bitcoin a fraud. He said he'd fire any trader caught buying it. Fast forward to 2021. Same guy, same bank. Except now, JPMorgan is processing over $1 trillion in blockchain transactions. They didn't beat crypto. They couldn't. So they bought the infrastructure. And here's the part that makes my blood boil. In July 2025, the U.S. government passed the Genius Act. And on paper, it sounds great. Federal licensing for stablecoin issuers, consumer protection, regulatory clarity. But here's what they didn't put in the press release. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency just released a 366-page proposal to implement this law. And buried on a page somewhere in the middle, there's a clause that basically says stablecoin issuers can't pay you yield. No interest, no rewards, nothing that looks like a bank account. But wait, there's an exception. Affiliates and related third parties can still pay you. You know, like Coinbase, like Circle, like the companies that are now applying for national bank charters. It's a shell game and you're the ball. Here's what Wall Street figured out that you didn't. They don't need to beat crypto. They just need to own the roads. Jamie Dimon rebranded their blockchain division to Connexus. Sounds cool, right? Very crypto, very decentralized. It's not. It's a permissioned blockchain run entirely by JPMorgan. They decide who gets on. They decide what you can do. They decide when to pull the plug. And here's the kicker. They're now accepting Bitcoin and Ethereum as collateral for institutional loans. Let me say that again. The bank that called Bitcoin a fraud is now letting hedge funds borrow money against their Bitcoin. They didn't adopt the revolution. They just found a way to charge rent on it. Remember how I said the Genius Act prohibits stablecoin issuers from paying yield? Here's why that matters. Circle, the company behind USDC, just got conditional approval to become a national trust bank. First National Digital Currency Bank. That's the actual name. So Circle is becoming a bank, but banks can't pay yield on stablecoins. So what do? They create a loophole. Circle issues USDC. Coinbase, which is deeply partnered with Circle, offers you 3.5% rewards on your USDC. But technically, it's not yield from the issuer. It's a reward from a third party. The OCC is already onto this. Their proposal creates a rebuttable presumption that these third-party arrangements are just yield in disguise. Translation, they know it's a scam. They just haven't figured out how to stop it yet. This is where it gets really dark. BlackRock has a tokenized fund called BULD. Yes, that's really the ticker. It holds U.S. treasuries and cash, and it's currently sitting at over $2 billion in assets. And here's what BlackRock's head of digital assets said. Tokenized funds only reach their full potential once their underlying assets can be independently verified. Sounds great, right? Transparency, verification, all on chain. Except now, Uniswap, the largest decentralized exchange in crypto, is integrating BlackRock's Build fund for trading. Do you see what's happening? The most decentralized exchange in crypto is now listing a BlackRock fund. And BlackRock made a strategic investment in the Uniswap ecosystem. They didn't kill DeFi, they bought DeFi. So who loses in this new world? The retail investor, the person who still thinks crypto is for the people. Because here's the truth. When JPMorgan accepts Bitcoin as collateral, they're not doing it to help you. They're doing it because they want to lend against your assets and collect interest. When BlackRock tokenizes treasuries on Uniswap, they're not doing it for transparency. They're doing it because they can charge fees on every trade 24/7, 365 days a year with no regulators watching. The bank's profit, the asset manager's profit, the exchange's profit. And you get to pay gas fees on your retirement account. Let me break this down so you can see the whole machine. Layer 1, regulation capture. The Genius Act sounds pro-crypto, but it's written by bank lobbyists. It creates a framework that only the biggest players can afford to navigate. Circle got a national trust charter. Your local crypto startup cannot. Layer 2, infrastructure ownership. JPMorgan runs Connexus. BlackRock runs Build. These are not public blockchains. They are walled gardens with crypto branding. They control the validators. They control the fees. Layer 3, yield arbitrage. Banks can't pay you yield on stablecoins, but they can let Coinbase do it. And Coinbase pays you 3.5% while lending your USDC out at 8%. The spread? That's their profit, not yours. Silicon Valley Bank analysts said it best. The suits and ties have arrived. They're not here to join the revolution. They're here to monetize it. So what do? Because I know what you're thinking. Adeline, this is depressing. Everyone's getting scammed. What's the point? Here's the point. You don't have to play their game. Step 1, stop chasing yield on stablecoins. That 3.5% from Coinbase, after inflation and taxes, you're losing money and you're taking custody risk for pennies. Not worth it. Step 2, own assets, not tokens. If you want crypto exposure, buy Bitcoin. Self-custody it. Don't lend it, don't stake it, don't put it in a yield-bearing account. Just own it. Step 3, watch the tokenization trend, but don't buy the hype. When BlackRock starts tokenizing your 401k, remember this video. You don't need to invest in tokenized treasuries. You can just buy treasuries without the gas fees. The hard truth that no one in crypto will tell you, the original promise of crypto, decentralization, no middlemen, financial freedom, is dead. Wall Street killed it by buying it. But that doesn't mean you have to be the victim. It just means you have to stop pretending you're part of a revolution. You're a customer. Act like one. Before I reveal the most important step, the one that took me from losing $40,000 in DeFi to actually building wealth, but first let me show you the graveyard of people who ignored this. I'm talking about the Celsius accounts that are still frozen, the BlockFi customers who got pennies on the dollar, the Voyager users who watched their life savings disappear into a black hole labeled restructuring. Those people thought they were early. They thought they were smart. They thought the rules didn't apply to them. They were wrong. And if you don't change how you think about crypto in the next 3 minutes, you will be next. Here's what we covered. 1. Wall Street didn't kill crypto. They bought the infrastructure and renamed it. 2. The Genius Act sounds good, but it creates a two-tier system where banks win and you lose. 3. Tokenization isn't about transparency. It's about fee extraction. Every trade, every transfer, every yield payment, someone takes a cut. And 4. The only winning move is to stop playing their game. Own your assets, self-custody them, and never, ever chase yield on someone else's platform. The revolution is over. Wall Street won. But you can still walk away with your money if you're smart enough to see the scam. If this video helped you see the matrix, hit like and subscribe.